So, yes, so gorgeous to see everybody. Thank you for coming. So I'm not quite, I think I've been writing over the last couple of weeks, just ideas as they've been coming to me. And I was trying to piece it all together and think of a title. So I think the title's something like Living with the Times. But I just wanted to just give you a small compendium of Jewish thoughts to help. See, they're there again. Can't keep them away.
We don't need any spies.
Bye. It's obviously so appealing in here, isn't it? We want to see what we're up to. Just some Jewish thoughts, some Jewish teachings I want to give over, some thoughts, some ideas, just to please God inspire us. Do you know, we had, who was in Shiur on Shabbos, we had two from families from Manchester, and I think they were looking at everybody, sort of like trying to work everybody out, and I thought, I know you feel like a bit of a fish out of water, as I was thinking what they were thinking, like looking at everybody. Yeah. Did you notice? And I felt like saying, you know, if me and our family are here supposedly to inspire or to try and inspire you, you all seriously inspire me. And that was what I was thinking. I think I said something like that, but I was really thinking very strongly about that afterwards until now, that you are all so special, that you really, really inspire me. So if I can just take your inspiration and maybe throw a little bit back today, then please God, that's what's going to happen. So I just wanted to start with the idea that Chazal, the Jewish sages over the times, have come up with the phrase Shivim Ponim LaTorah, which means there are 7 faces, 7 pathways to the Torah. So we hear this idea a lot. What does it mean, there's 70 ways? You know, if I said, okay, here's the ingredients to cake or whatever it is you make, you know, you could think, well, this version is to do it without the cinnamon, this version is to do it with, you know, the vegan way, or this way, that way. Is it really 70? It just basically means 70. It means it's just a throw-out number. Obviously, there's meaning in 70, but the idea of the 70 ways that we can reach Torah means individual pathways that we as individuals can access and experience our Yiddishkeit. So, meaning to say, what works for me might not work for you. What works for you might not appeal to you. It's so individual. So whilst we hear basically the same ideas, how we interpret them into our own lives, into our own souls, is a very, very individual process. It's not a one-size-fits-all. So I was thinking, like, you know, on Yom Kippur, which I thought was very beautiful this year in Shul. So, and you come out and you're on this spiritual high, and here again. It's ladies only, madam.
And it's alone. But it's not yet a man.
Yeah, that's true. You can stay if you want, madam.
Where's that?
Are they in the room next door? So Yom Kippur. So I was thinking, well, what is, you know, I find Ne'ilah is obviously, you know, but that might not be for somebody else. I know this year there were some grumbles that one of the tunes wasn't the usual St. Anne's tune, because that was obviously very important for that person. So I was thinking, what made Yom Kippur for me might not be the same for everybody else. It might be seeing the white, when they changed the curtains for the Aron Kodesh, just even seeing the white makes you feel it. That time in the afternoon when your tummy is really rumbling, that might be when you feel it. Ne'ilah, the end, might be when I feel it. So it's not one size fits all. Your individual makeup makes your individual Yiddishkeit, your Torah, your pathway. And our Yiddishkeit is supposed to be transformational. It's not just a lifestyle choice. It's supposed to be inspirational, and it's a Torah's Chaim. It's a life. This is our blood. This is our lifeline to life. It's our Yiddishkeit, and it can so if we have the right attitude to it, it can help us. I mean, we've just had for a few months, you know, some issue. You know, and I'm like, if I didn't have my Yiddishkeit, I would be in a very bad place. But Baruch Hashem, I have this as a lifeline. And something new, I know I've touched on in other times, there's always something new to learn every day, and ways, even an idea we've heard before, like say the weekly partial, well, it's always the same story. Like now the storyline's like absolutely crazy and voracious, or the matriarchs and the patriarchs, it's fascinating. But next year it's going to be the very same story. It's not going to change the story, but the way we learn it, every year I'm like blown away by new ideas, like a new slant on it, a new take, and it's like, wow, like I never thought it could be even deeper, and like suddenly it's got even deeper. This is absolutely mind-blowing. And just as I say, so many different ways we can connect, whether it's you want to take out a chumash and learn it and get your Hebrew skills and your translation skills up to scratch, or if it's just in the everyday going for a walk and, we're by the seafront here. And very much Hashem is obviously created nature, and he is in nature. So I wanted to start off with this idea in the Zohar, in the mystical teachings, and you would have heard this because I like all the well-being stuff, but it's a complete crossover, it's the same, it's just an extension of Yiddishkeit, of Torah, of Hashem, all this well-being, it's always the same ideas. And all these ideas are rooted in Hashem created the world. So as I say, there's this idea in the mystical teachings in the Zohar, and it's also to be found in the well-being, wellness front, which is people talk about the 4 elements. You heard about the 4 elements? Anyone heard the 4? Okay, who can? The 4 elements. Yeah. So earth, water, wind, and fire. They're the 4. You've heard the 4 elements, yes. Yeah. So that is obviously a Jewish teaching that comes in the Zohar, and there's ideas now. It's saying that there's in the world, there's 4, everything physical can be categorized into 4 different areas. If it's earth, earth, water, wind, or fire. And the reason it's in that order is because earth being the lowest, you hear like people are saying, well, which are you? Are you a wind person? Are you a fire person? But within each of them, it's the same anyway, because within each of the 4 is everything else. And there's, even though we say, okay, 4 categories, there's within each of the 4, there's just cells, there's just energy. Like we've been talking a lot recently about angels, because they've been cropping up left, right, and centre in the different sedras, and people have been asking me a lot in shul, do we really believe in angels? Like, are there really angels with like white flapping wings? And I'm always trying to explain, no, it's not like that. It just means an energy. And there's energy in everything. So within the earth, water, wind, and fire, there's particles of energy. So it can all be broken down again. But I just thought it's interesting, and I learned a bit about earth, water, wind, and fire, just as I was thinking about this. So earth represents our physical body, and in nature can be stones. So actually, where's my little bag here? I always think it's good to have a visual effect. A prop or a visual effect for any kinesthetic learners. So here's some stones. So last week, I always say to Danny, we always have a thing, okay, what needs taking to St. Anne's, what needs bringing back, what needs taking, we have the crates at the front of the houses, going backwards, forwards. It's always like, what needs going where? I said, right, can you please bring me back? Strange request, can you go and pick me some stones from the beach, please? He said, why do you need this? I said, just do it, please. It's my Shiur. So I thought, okay, whilst we're talking about earth and stones, I'm going to, in a minute, pass them around, just to demonstrate what I'm saying. So earth is our physical body, which can be positive because we obviously use our body to do amazing things like you've all been doing today and every day. Or it could be negative because you can say, oh, I'm feeling so heavy, feeling so low. And in nature, there's stones. Liquid is compared, so that's basically the physical body with its positive and negatives. Water is a liquid, and water is like emotions. So you can have our emotions can be like rushing like a waterfall, like a river, or overflowing like a tidal wave when we're excited, or if we're calm, it can be like a very calm, still lake at low tide. So positive and negative within that. And these 2 elements, the earth and the water, they come down. Okay? Because once the stone is down because of gravity, unless you've got a forklift truck, it's not going up again. So these elements so these are why they're categorized together, the earth and the water, because they come down, like I just noticed, like with the water. It was splashed all over me. It was not going up to the ceiling, again, unless you have a hydration system going on, which is not connected here. Okay, so these two qualities go down. Then you have the opposite, which is wind and fire, and they are compared to, in the human being, wind is our intellect, because it's our ability to communicate. So the wind, microscopically, if we would have the right equipment, is now pushing my words and these ideas into the air, which is going into your ears. So wind is the intellect and the ability to communicate ideas to other people. And again, it can be very, very rapid, so I can talk very quickly, or can speak very calmly. So we can control wind, we can control water, and we can control, through our intellect, how our body reacts, because the body reacts. If you're thinking, dark thoughts, you're going to be feeling a bit like you don't feel like doing anything. But if you're feeling happy and excited, you really feel like getting out and about and socialising. So everything very much is in our control. And then fire is the willpower, it's our spirituality. So that's why I say always about my husband, he's on fire. We were just with my parents, and Danny was giving over a synopsis of his sermon that he did in Shiur, and my dad was like, does he ever stop talking? And I said, you don't know what it's like to live with him, because he's on fire. Baruch Hashem is on fire with all his ideas. So fire is like our spirituality, and it's our willpower of, right, I want to get this done. We all the time use this phrase, that person's on fire. But again, fire can be used to warm us on a cold day, like there's heating in here, sparked by a fire somewhere. Whether it's gas or electric, there's going to be a spark somewhere making the fire, or it can destroy us, God forbid. So some people are like too much, when people have too much energy, too much willpower, and they can overwhelm, they can burn us. And we actually see this example in the Torah with Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Lag BaOmer, when we celebrate Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai's yacht site. He was so much on fire with his Torah that when he came out of the cave, he literally couldn't relate to people. And he was burning, metaphorically speaking, the grass and everything that he was looking at, because he had too much, and he had to go back into the cave and then learn how to come out and have restraint to just drip, drip, drip. You don't always have to go for everyone if it's too much. So I just thought that's interesting, just to know about the four elements, because people always talk about it, but do they know it has a Jewish source? But the message of me telling you about this is that it's interesting, it's in our control, and that we can control these things, and also to use it to our advantage for healing properties. So it's actually my mother-in-law's 70th birthday today. So I went to TK Maxx. Don't tell her this is where I got her present from. And I was looking at jewellery, and I saw all these, the bracelets with the stones. And it was amethyst and this and that, and it was saying like,
her birthstone, you mean?
No, just these bracelets. It was like saying, they're these purple bracelets, and have you seen them? People wear them to give you good energy.
Right.
Have you not seen them? No, you'll see them now.
Crystals, like crystals. Something
like arthritis.
Yeah, it was just like, it was just saying, these stones can help you, with energy and stuff, whatever.
I've got one.
Have you got one? Yeah, I used to have one. And
I used to wear a rose quartz.
Yes. Yes, that's the rose is like for the Ein Horror, the red. That's a different thing. But these things, anyway. But there is. So I was looking at them, and it said this bracelet can do this, and this is calming, this is healing. And I thought, is it really going to? But actually, it really does. Because if you think that. And that's why I'll pass these around. So choose, I hope it's enough. Take and pass around. Sorry if I'm getting all hippie. It's a good job. It's a good job there are no trees in here, because I'd have you hugging them.
So what did you buy your mother-in-law?
Or some earrings.
Earrings.
Yeah, so it's today.
What stone did you get? With her birthstone?
No, they were just gold earrings, actually.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good present.
Yeah. I know what she likes. It's chunky, so.
Good, perfect.
Spent a long time looking.
TK Maxx.
Birthday as well today.
Oh, happy birthday.
It's your birthday.
My grandson's.
Oh, happy birthday. Oh, see.
5.
So choose a stone.
Oh. Yeah.
Can we keep them?
Yes, yes, you can keep them, absolutely. It's going to turn into a very spiritual stone in a minute.
It's the shape of my nose.
Oh,
Big one.
Have you ever been to Stonehenge? You used to be able to touch the stones and they felt just warm and cold.
really?
Oh,
wow.
unbelievable. Because that's been there for 3,500 years. And like, how did they get these stones there? Before the wheel was invented, we got these stones there. It's amazing.
Oh, that's so cute. Pardon? Okay. Oh, there's 2 left if anyone wants to know. So everyone got? You got? Okay.
Sorry.
So, okay. So what I was going to say is, okay, so bearing in mind that Hashem created everything and every atom, every molecule, every cell, and heaven and earth and this stone and
Sorry, it's
And we'll keep on going.
Close the hospital.
okay.
And she never knows what it's for her. It was better because she deals with it.
Oh, bless. This should be better. So, bearing in mind there's obviously godly energy in everything, in every cell, in every atom, in every molecule in the world, and Hashem has created this stone, like literally with his energy, and if Hashem wasn't willing our existence every second of every day, the laws of gravity would just go to put, we wouldn't be here anymore. So every second is willed by Hashem that we're all supposed to be here, we are here, and there's everything here in the room, in the world for us to take advantage of and use to our benefit. So much so, this stone has an energy in it that we can connect to. So I thought, when I saw these bracelets in TK Maxx and I read that, I thought, okay, all right, it's true. There is energy in stones because it's part of Hashem's creation. If Hashem wasn't willing the world to exist, this wouldn't be here now. I'm going to use this for my advantage, and I'm going to take a nice stone. I'm going to try and feel that energy, and it can be used to calm me down if I'm in a stressful situation. Which unfortunately,
Does it?
yes,
Good.
yes.
It's really cold, isn't it? Yeah. See, it's a warm room. Feel really cold.
But we, and this is called Niflat Habora, to have awe for the creation, that we just take things for advantage, we overlook things all the time. Another nice idea, just sticking with the jewellery theme, and Sarah's got the most amazing necklace. Sticking with the jewellery theme, I heard an amazing idea the other day, that silver and gold, okay, so silver and gold has been used for currency since the beginning of time. Since ancient civilizations, silver and gold has been used for currency. So we have, like with Abraham in Chai Sarah, the other week Sedra, and he wants to buy a resting place to bury Sarah, and he's negotiating in the currency of the time. And apparently, did you hear this? That they because of this miracle with Yitzchak, with Isaac, that it was born, because Abraham was a very wealthy man, very, very wealthy, they actually made a special coin with him and Sarah with their faces on the coin. So, you'd have have we still got the Queen on the faces anymore? Is it all Charles? Is it all Charles? There's no Queen anymore.
No, there is. The replacements have got the king, but the old ones are still.
Yes, I thought I still see the Queen.
Yeah.
Still see the Queen occasionally.
Doing a special one.
And for the Queen.
Yeah, with her face on one side and Charles on the other.
Oh,
Just,
really?
Not many.
Sorry.
Limited
Really?
edition, yeah.
Well, there you go. That's so interesting. That's so interesting.
Ring.
I saw
Just
that.
happened.
She rang me 3 times. Her phone didn't ring.
It's the
Rang
reception.
for voicemail.
Reception.
And she's gone now.
Oh.
Missed her. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, I don't know what's the matter with my phone.
It could be the reception in the area.
Yeah, mine's playing up in here.
But voicemail rang. It
Sometimes
rang the voicemail
that-
just then. But
Sometimes that
she's
Not the
rung me
actual
3
phone
times.
call.
The phone call didn't ring. She's rung me 3 times. I think she said 3 times. But the voice, and it didn't ring.
So it went straight to voicemail.
Yeah. Well,
But
presumably.
you couldn't actually
Or it
answer.
rang and it didn't ring out here.
That
And
happens.
she said she's rung me a few
No,
times.
I
Not
can't
answered. She's left me the
see when I
voicemail.
see
Yeah,
that.
there's no Wi-Fi.
Oh.
Anyway.
Anyway, we're talking about, we've gone on from jewellery now, we're talking about silver and gold.
Oh,
Okay, and we're saying about
I'm
currency.
going to watch for it now. So
Okay.
if it flashes and rings, I'll
Fine.
run out.
Okay.
She rings me back.
So we're saying, so in the times of Avram Avinu, when he was negotiating with, that there was apparently coins in circulation with him and Sarah's face on. Anyway, just an interesting side point. But silver and gold have been used for centuries, millennium, as negotiated currency. So if we think about silver and gold, the cheapest of the two is silver, because that's very, very common. So now if you've got your family, your descendants, your ancestors' silver and gold in your possession, silver's not worth very much, is it? You can take a load of silver to a pawn shop, whatever. They're not going to give you much. The minute you come in with gold, now you're talking. Okay, so silver, and again, you can learn this on the deepest level or just a simple level. But silver apparently is supposed to represent man, or men, which is the nearest colour to silver, if we were to have a prism, is white. Okay? And white is supposed to represent chesed, which is an overflow of kindness. It's very plentiful. And that's why silver is very plentiful. There's a lot of silver around. As compared to gold, which represents a woman, the nearest colour to gold in the spectrum is red. Red is the attribute of gevura, which is restraint, which is a woman's quality. And yeah, in all different ways. And this is why when I heard this idea, I thought, that's why gold is now at a super crazy price. It's at the all-time high. I keep hearing, when I heard this idea, I can't tell you how many times I'd seen adverts saying gold all-time high. And it was just as I'd learnt that gold represents a woman, and gold is now at the all-time high because it really is a woman's time. And when I'm learning my Torah these days, I used to listen to rabbis. Now I only listen to Rebbetzins.
Yeah, good for you.
Because
Good for you.
the women's Torah learning is just surpassing men's.
Fantastic, perfect.
Isn't it, Sarah?
Right. I very strongly approve. of
Thank
that.
you. I know, and when we've been looking into SEMS for Avital, we found on the master list there are 28 yeshivas compared to 41 SEMS.
Excellent.
So it really is a woman's world now. Women are on the up, and again, this is very spiritually aligned because we're told that women are the ones that are going to bring the geula, the redemption. We are going to be the ones leading the way.
But it's also treasuring a woman's point of view, a woman's perspective.
Yes.
Finally giving, hearing the woman's perspective and letting that come through.
Exactly.
Rather than the men putting words into her voice. So
Exactly.
That's what's good about it.
Exactly. I know, perfect.
Good.
Yeah, thank you. Another idea of all these well-being stroke Torah ideas is that the senses. We don't appreciate our senses. Another idea I heard recently, 4 out of our 5 senses were corrupted in the Garden of Eden. So sight, because they looked at the tree. Hearing, because they listened to the snake. Touch, because they touched the tree. Taste, because they tasted the fruit. The only thing that wasn't corrupted was the sense of smell. And this is why a sense of smell is the most spiritual sense. And we smell the besomim as Havdalah goes out to comfort our souls because Shabbos has gone away and we're back to now the normal weekday. And the sense of smell is a very, very spiritual and often overlooked sense. So in the last few weeks, since I've been thinking about all these ideas, I've got so into my aromatherapy. You'd think I'm a really hippie rabbit son if you saw what was in my house. So now we've got the stones, and we're gonna. Next time I'll bring candles.
Good idea.
Because I'm so into all the candles and the different smell. If I ever go to Tesco or Sainsbury's, even Aldi and Lidl, they do nice candles now. I'll quickly whiz round to do all the shopping, and I can't help but being gravitated towards. They always have candles.
Did you not find them in TK Maxx? They got the best.
I know. I was looking a long time at the jewellery. I know. Oh, did they have them open, the candles?
So
I did see, the queue so long, I did see some nice things.
Upstairs.
Oh, that's right. But yes, I'm so into all the smells, and so yes, we can so appreciate them, and everyone can find their, whether you like the woody smell or the floral smell, but it's just again, it's so healing to just, and our lives are so busy and so stressful and everything, just to take a step back and to use these things to really calm us, and Baruch Hashem for the sense of smell, that we can use it to infuse ourselves with spirituality and feel grounded again. Anyway, so that's the healing part. So when I said before about there's something new to learn every day, so I just felt like in the last few weeks in Bereshis, the storyline is just so dramatic. And in the last few weeks, I've been finding as I said before, a different way to look at things. So in Noach, just take you back a few weeks, we always hear the same idea every year. The Pasuk says that Noach was a tzaddik in his generation. And the question's always asked, what does that mean? Does that mean if he was in Abraham's generation, he would just be a nobody? Or does it mean if he was, it's always that same question asked, isn't it? And we don't get any further than that. There she is.
Sorry.
Go on.
Don't worry about it. Answer the phone.
So the answer is always, poor Noach. No, it means it was just in his generation he was a tzaddik. He did well in his time, because if he was in Abraham's generation, he would just be a nobody. And so, okay, that's what we learn. And that's what we say every year when it comes to that week. That's the Parsha. But this year, I heard a different spin on it, that's right. He was just a normal man. He was a normal man that did a very great thing, i.e. save the world. Which you can't really do any better than that. But he was just a normal man. Which I just thought, wow, that's so powerful, because we are just normal people. So we don't need to be a Noach. We can just be normal, but we can do really great things.
Absolutely.
So just a small idea that's given me a whole new perspective. So I was buzzing on that, on Parshas Noach. You're lucky that you're hearing this shiur now, because if it was later in the year, I'd be going through all the sedras and different things to think about. Okay, so when it came to Lech Lecha, a new thing I learned this year is that we always, we make a whole big fuss that Lech Lecha, what did Hashem tell Avraham to do? Lech Lecha me'artzecha u'miladataha u'mibeis avicha. Go from your birthplace, from your father's house, from your birthplace, from your land, your birthplace, and your
father's house.
And your father's house.
Good job, yeah.
I know. So I had got this. That's my insurance there. So go, and Hashem tells Abraham, go to Israel, because he was Abraham. It was now going to be his time. Because Abraham and Sarah had basically set up the first Chabad house. They were the first people in that time, in that generation, that part of the world, Mesopotamia. They were the first people to find God, one God, when everyone else was worshipping idols, and to teach this message of monotheism. So Hashem says, okay, now is the time, Abraham. You've passed all the levels. You're ripe. You're going to go out and teach. You've got your qualification. You've done your MVQ level, whatever. You've got your teacher's degree with masters and honours. Off you go. Now teach it. So that's what we always hear. Okay, very nice. He went Lech Lecha. But then if you read the text, he actually is hardly in Israel for 2 seconds before he then... Now that's the explicit command from Hashem, is that he tells him go to Israel. That's what we know. Then we hear that when he gets to Israel, there's a famine. And then Abraham and Sarah, they go down to Egypt. Now, hold on a second. He was told, now's your time to go to Israel. Okay, so if your boss sends you to whatever, that's where you're going to go, isn't it? He then goes on an unauthorized journey to Egypt. Now, we know the whole story with Moshe Rabbeinu taking the Jewish people out of Egypt. We know that is there's a godly orchestration going on there. But with this preamble with Abraham, what is he doing going to Egypt? The command was go to Israel. And I never heard this idea before, that he's hardly there for 2 seconds before he then sees this famine, and then he goes to Egypt, unauthorized. So what's going on? So the answer is, well, hold on a minute. When he gets to Israel, he sees that there's famine. And his whole message was to talk about God, to teach people there's a new way, if you want to, live a deeper, higher level, you want to live a moral life, we need to find Hashem and start practicing Judaism, basically. It was, as I say, had Chabad's house, he kept Shabbos, even though Torah hadn't been given, he intrinsically knew a spiritual way to be. That was the best way, the right way to be. But when he got to Israel, he saw there was a famine. And he thought, I cannot teach, I can't possibly go out and teach in these circumstances, because people will be like, don't tell me about God when I don't know if I've got food for tonight. I'm too busy trying to find, a morsel of grain or a few drops of water from a dried up well. I don't want to hear this. So he then used his own intuition to see that this is, okay, I've got into, when you just pass go, collect £100. Okay, I've been in Israel. He then used his own intuition to think, it's not going to work here, because these people they're not capable of, you've got to read the room. And he knew that people, if there was a famine, they're not going to be able to digest the message I'm teaching them. And then he knew in his soul, in his neshama, because he was on a very high level. He had Ruach HaKodesh, he had prophecy. He knew his time was actually to stay very briefly in Israel and then go down to Egypt, where the people were quite cushy, very comfortable, very successful. And that's where his Chabad house was going to take off. So, you find Chabad in the city. They go in very often to do like a business forum lunch, where they know, like the businessmen, they're happy to take an hour out for the lunch break with a nice, sandwich and a cup of coffee. And they're going to be, this is interesting. And he just knew that was how he was going to do it. That's how he was going to have the most effect in Egypt in those circumstances. But he also knew that in the future, the Jewish people were going to be in Egypt, and that they needed his blueprint of surviving in a very affluent, seemingly comfortable environment, that he was going to lay the groundwork for people to be able to receive Torah. And the message for 2025 is, we are now sort of in a spiritual Egypt where it all looks very cushy. I mean, look at this gorgeous room with the mirrors and everything. And, we've got everything on tap, But Abraham has set the tone for us that we can receive this, because don't get too comfortable, because there's a deeper thing going on. There is a reason, there's a meaning, there's a perspective, there's a direction for us all. And he was setting the way by diverting, at that time, his teachings into Egypt, which has trickled down through Jewish history and spiritually to where we are here. So that was Lech Lecha. Then we had Vayera, which is, wow. I mean, when I was in SEM, Sarah, did you learn this in SEM? We did a whole course on just this one Sedra with Rebbetzin Heller. I was so lucky to have one of the greatest Rebbetzins in this day and age teach us the whole. It was literally, we did weeks and weeks, a few Pesukim at a time, going through Vayera with the Akedah. We could have done even longer, but it was just, I mean, even Bereshis, I know there's courses that can go on a whole year, because even just the actual first Sedra, Bereshis, talking about the creation, just the verses, you could just go. It's just so much wisdom and inspiration and mind-blowing concepts to take in. So just a quick idea about Vayera. So this ram that stuck, so we all know the story, and I just did a little bit of the thing I sent on the WhatsApp group before Shabbos. Because I was thinking about that last week and I thought, I've got to get it down. This is just so amazing. I've got to speak it out. I've got to tell everyone. So when Abraham is about to, it's the most famous story, the Akedah, and Abraham is about to shecht his own son. It's so dramatic. And this ram is stuck in the thicket.
No, they're going straight to voicemail. I don't know, there's something wrong with my phone. She's rung 8 times. And it's gone straight to voicemail each time.
You can't get that.
When I ring back, when I ring back, I get voicemail. They only have voicemail there, and they answer from that. And she's rung 8 times, and each time it's gone straight to voicemail. And each voicemail message is telling me that there's something wrong with your phone, and I don't know how I can get to speak to her. Anyway, I've sent her a long voicemail and told her exactly what she has to ring me tomorrow to my landline now in the morning.
Oh, sorry.
So that's been all day, ongoing all day.
Oh dear.
You have to take your phone in somewhere.
I don't know. I've just been into the settings. I've just looked into voicemail settings.
And that's into a shop.
I know. But I mean, there's nowhere where it says go straight to voicemail. And yet other people ring me. You know, it rings other times. So I don't
It's the
understand.
reception in this room, maybe.
Could be.
No, you can't do it by... The only way I can... I mean, I've got a direct number to them, but it goes to voicemail and then they answer you on the voicemail.
Too complicated.
Yeah, why?
Well, it's me wants her. I rang her on Friday, left a message for her to ring me back today. So she's been ringing me back all day to my message.
It's phone tag. Message tag.
It's not terminal. It's not anything major.
Okay, good.
So with it.
Okay, so just two ideas from Vera, otherwise we'll be here all day. So this ram that's stuck, so I remember the scene, so it's about it, so dramatic, the next, and then Hashem says, stop, take the ram that's stuck in the thicket. Okay, this ram is stuck in the thicket, and it's never struggling, and it's struggling, and it's struggling. And we all know that, oh no, take it, because that's going to be in place of your son, and we all know that you're going to take this horn, and it's going to be the shofar, and that's going to be the cry of the Jewish people in the future, and that's going to keep us connected. But hold on, just rewind a minute. That ram, why do we need... Well, obviously, if a ram's stuck in the thicket, it's going to be struggling. It's not going to be there like having a great time. It's going to be there like, hello, crying out for help, even though it can't speak. It's going to be distressed. And this ram, did we ever think... We think about everything else in the Akedah, but did we think about this ram? What's the message of this ram that's stuck? It's stuck and it's trying to get out and it's struggling. This is us. This is us, the Jewish people. We are stuck. We're struggling. None of us have cushy lives, even though some people might give that impression. We've all got our own challenges. And this is what we're doing. We are struggling with them. We're stuck. And we're trying to get out. And this is the message of the ram stuck, is saying Hashem is with us. Hashem is right there. It's the holiest moment. You know, there's an example of a man who's chipping away. It's a mashal, it isn't a real story. It's an allegory. So a man chipping away in a basement, and he's chipping away because he wants to break the wall down to see if there's any daylight. And the man is chipping away every day, and it's hard, and he's chipping away, and he's depressed, and it's hard work, and he's losing hope, and he's chipping away. Now we on the outside can see, don't lose hope. Any minute now you're going to break through. That sunlight is going to stream through. And we can see it. We can see he's nearly there. Look, this poor man's been chipping away and he's almost there. And that's the hope that we have to have. That even though we're struggling and we're chipping away, no, keep going, because we are almost there. And that is what we need to hold on to. So that was a nice message. But another message of the occasion, just before they go up to the Har HaMoriah, where the Kotel is today, where the Akedah took place, took place, there's an interesting pasuk, an interesting verse where Hashem tells Yitzchak says to Abraham, where are we going? Like, we've got everything, where are we going? We're on this journey, but I'm not quite sure where we're going. And Abraham tells his son, don't worry, we're going to go Adkan, we're just going to go up to here, and after that Hashem will show us the way. So that is what he tells his son. Message for us is we can do all we can do. We can prepare, we can do everything we can do. You can try and get hold of the nurse. We can do everything we can try and do, and we do. But at the end of the day, It's ad can. It's still there. After that, God will show us the way. Hashem will show us the way. And that's another empowering message, because so much of the time we are trying, especially, it's hard for me because I'm a perfectionist, but it sounds like it's a good thing to be a perfectionist, but it's not, because you can't stop, you can't let go. And I tell myself this, no, ad can. You've done all you can do. I've prepared enough now. I don't need to prepare anymore. If the ladies don't like it, they won't like it. But I know, I've tried my best. Ad can, Anna, relax. You've done your bit. Ad can, Hashem will help you. So that was Vayera. Interesting with Chai Sarah. We're getting closer to the amazing love story, which is this week. The most Steven Spielberg and the whole of Hollywood couldn't put together what's happening in this week's Edra. It's just wow. But we already have a love story in Chai Sarah when Eliezer is looking for a shidduch for Abraham's son, Yitzchak. After the Akedah, we know that then Yitzchak is ready to get married. And Abraham wants Eliezer to make a nice shidduch. Okay? So, picture the scene. You've got Avram Avinu, very famous. I meant to say before about him and Sarah were like the first you hear this, so-and-so is an influencer. I only know this jargon from the children. I'm like, what's an influencer? But we have all these, is why I wanted to say, these are our influencers. These characters, our Jewish ancestors, should be our real the true influencers. So Avraham Avinu is the influencer of the day extraordinaire. And he's looking for this shidduch for his son, Yitzchak. So he sends his trusted servant, Eliezer. Now, Eliezer is his right-hand man. We always think of his servant. What do you think of? Think of he's coming in as a waiter with sir, tea is served, and putting it all down. And you think that's what Eliezer is like. Or he's coming in polishing his shoes. But Eliezer is not. Eliezer is anything but. I'm sure he did have servants to help clean his shoes and whatever. But Eliezer is like his, what we call Talmud Muvak. It's his beloved, his best student, his top A student. When you have the top surgeons, you always have their understudy. They're always walking around with the understudy, aren't they? The top surgeons, and say the professors. We always have the one that's taking. In most professions, when you've got the top dog, there's always the understudy, and that was the relationship between Abraham and Eliezer. So it was almost like it was second in command. It was Abraham's right hand man, and he'd worked for him for 70 years in this position. So now Eliezer, Torah tells us, had a very eligible daughter himself. And when Abraham says to Eliezer, "Can you please find me a shidduch for my son Yitzchak?" Well, the first thing Eliezer, we would think he'd be thinking is, what about my daughter here? Like, you know her, like she's grown up in your house as well. Like, how perfect, it's the girl next door. But Eliezer is totally, because Abraham instructs him, go back to take from my own family, and basically tells him it's not your daughter, without trying to cause any offense. But Eliezer is so humble, and he totally, if it was me or you, we'd be so miffed, wouldn't we? We would so understand if Eliezer would be a bit annoyed and nagged about this decision. Like, it's not normal. Like, hello, like it's so blaringly obvious. It's right in front of you. Here's the shidduch here, my daughter with your son. Like, they know each other, they've grown up together, it's perfect. But Eliezer doesn't think like that at all. He trusts Abraham. Okay, it's not going to be from my family, it's going to be from his family. He's sending me off on a mission to find. And also, when he goes on his mission, Eliezer could he could ask Hashem, can something go wrong here, so that I can say, the girl, is not well, or something's happened, or I couldn't find her. He could have used his own davening to say to Hashem, look, I really wanted my daughter for Yitzchak. Can we please do something, Hashem? I'm very close to you as well. Can we make this happen? But he doesn't. He's just so humble, and he doesn't think for a moment like, and it's like, we think we're entitled. If it was, how often do we think, well, this is for me, I don't know, fill in the blanks here for examples in your own lives. But how many times do we feel entitled? Like, this is my right. Oh, it annoys me when they say like human rights. It's like it's so annoying. Like, well, where's humility in all of this? Like, where's common sense? Where's decent thinking? It's all overridden in the name of human rights. Well, Eliezer could be very, very within his rights to be annoyed. And he's not. He's just so accepting. So much so that when he goes out on the mission to find Rivka, he asks Hashem for a mikra. He asks for a miracle. And this is again the idea with the angels, because if it's hard to understand, this could be a whole shiur in itself about understanding what angels are and how it all works, but energies. He could have asked Hashem, can you make something happen? Like, can Rivka just fall off the camel, and the camel could, God forbid, cause her brain injury, so it's not going to happen. He asks for a mikra. I need a miracle, Hashem. It can't be a random event that happens randomly, like we just randomly. Obviously, it was a miracle we all got here safely. But do you know what I mean? It was random. Hashem didn't really need to cause a miracle that we all got here safely to Degei Baruch. Hashem, that's like a normal state of affairs. He wanted something extra special, a miracle, that Rivka would just come at the very time and do exactly what he'd already asked for, that she should be so caring, she should care about his camels as well as him. And that's the whole story with Chai. So that's the whole example with Eliezer, that again, bringing it back to an example for us to take meaning into our lives is to just be a little bit, where's our humility? Why do we always feel entitled these days? Like, let's just take a lesson from it. And also Eliezer is always overlooked, because we always talk about Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, the matriarchs and the patriarchs, but Eliezer is so often overlooked that we don't think, well, who was he in the story? What did he do? These are our influences. Okay, Toldos. Toldos. I sent you a voicemail on the WhatsApp group, because last week was like, wow, I've got to get this down. About sight, seeing people with a good eye, and just using the power of sight, not just physically to look at what we could think about, what do we consume and what do we. I'll tell you a secret. My Danny's grandmother used to have Hello magazines in her house, and I used to be like, we want to see who's wearing what. And after a while, I thought, actually, I don't want to see it. Like, I don't want to see it anymore. I don't want to see it. So we can all make a decision. We all have our free choice to decide what we see, what we don't see, and that's Toldos. I heard a nice story that someone took their 3 or 4-year-old daughter to see a very, very great Rebbetzin. Wish I'd seen this Rebbetzin. The father said, I want to show you what the Shekhinah, the godly presence, looks like. I'm taking you to see this very great Rebbetzin. It was in Israel. It was about 10, 20 years ago. Apparently, this little girl at 3 or 4 years old had no idea who she was going to see or why she was being taken there. All she knew was that her father had said, I want to show you the face of the Shekhinah, of the divine presence. She said, this girl, when she was an older woman, she said, this experience of seeing this, she said she never forgot that. She never forgot seeing this very, very great Rebbetzin, and I don't know, she must have been glowing. Wow. But it made me think, when you see like, from people, and they've got the buggies, and they have pictures of rabbis. Have you ever seen this? The buggies. So you see, like most people with babies, they have the black and white swirls for the babies to look at. But some people have, very great rabbis on the side of the thing. It's like, does a baby going to look at that and say, oh, that's Rav so-and-so, is it going to have an effect? But the thing is, everything we see from a young age has an effect. And think about that story with that girl. She said, I didn't understand at the time at all, but I never forgot it. And coming on to this week's Sedra, so Vayetze, this is the great, great love story. And there's when I was saying last week with Toldos, with the angels crying, and there's a lot of crying that's going on. A lot of crying. I'm not saying that we should be depressed and cry, but in these week's Sedras and coming on to Yossi, it doesn't stop crying. We're hearing about everyone crying the whole time. And so in this week's Sedra, we've got the two sisters, the twins. By the way, you know how everyone's always struggles with the fact that there's 3 patriarchs and there's 4 matriarchs. Why not 3 and 3? And what's one being married to 2 ladies? You know, we can't marry 2 women. And why are there 4 matriarchs and only 3 patriarchs? So apparently when Mashiach comes, Rachel and Leah, who actually were twins anyway, like Yaakov and Esau, apparently Rachel and Leah are coming back as one. Coming back as one person. So it's very deep ideas that everything, their souls are going to be rectified and coming back as one. But anyway, these 2 sisters and what they did, as I said, Hollywood wouldn't be able to create such a story. That Rachel was engaged, betrothed to Yaakov, and she waited 7 years, and those 7 years of longing, of waiting, only to on the wedding night give him away to her sister. And again, the self-sacrifice, the humility of knowing this is very, very hard for me, but this is the right thing to do. And the whole time in the build-up to the shidduch between Rachel and Yaakov, we hear that...
Ladies, I'm so sorry to bother you. There's a car in the car park and the lights have been left on.
Oh yeah, it's mine. Yeah, it's not working.
You're okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I don't know.
Nearly finished. This last point, don't worry. So what was I saying?
Choosing the right way. Choosing the right way.
Yes. So we hear that the whole time when the build up to this shidduch, and that Leah is going to have Esau, the wicked brother. We hear that Leah, her eyes are sad, that her eyes are swollen. She's been crying. She's always crying because she knows this is her fate. Her sister is going to marry the big tzaddik, and she's going to marry the Rasha, the evil one. And she's crying and she's bemoaning her fate, and she's all the time crying. And we're hearing about Leah. We hear the contrast that Rachel, she's the pretty one. She's so beautiful. She's the prettiest girl in the class. She's so pretty, and her skin is so flawless, and she's got a beautiful figure. And, you know, we hear about Rachel. And Leah, all we're told about her is her eyes are red, they're swollen, they're sore from crying. And she's crying and crying because she's so upset about her fate. Then we know what happens is that actually Leah does get married to Yaakov, and her tears, all this crying she's been doing, has obviously had an effect in Shemayim, because she's now getting the tzaddik, and she changes her fate. And that we hear that when Rachel dies, and it's such a heart-wrenching story, that she doesn't live to see her 2 children. She doesn't live to see Binyamin. She dies in childbirth, and then she's buried by the roadside. But again, we hear now it's switched. It's not Leah that's crying, it's now Rachel that's crying. And we say that Rachel Imenu, Rachel's tears, are going to be the ones that bring the redemption. That Rachel is crying, as a very famous verse, that Rachel is crying on high. She's waiting for all her children to come home. And sorry to leave on a sad note, but this idea of we're crying, and these Jewish women are crying, that Rachel and Leah, they're crying all the time. In the end, there's one that's crying, it changes her fate and good things happen. But again, do we ever think about, well, hold on, if that happened to Leah, she was crying all those years and she did change her fate. Here's Rachel, who's crying on high, waiting for all her children to come home. There is hope. And the lesson for us is, don't cry our eyes out every day, but our tears do have an effect, because it's the emotion that we can't put into words. And that if we have true faith that all our prayers and our tears are not in vain, is what I'm saying again, then we please God, we'll be in a good place, and good things are happening, good things are coming. We can change our fate through tears, through sincerity, through prayer, and through coming together like today. So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. And, You can keep the stone.
No,
Keep
gosh, I'm not
it.
mentioning.
Yeah.